Hello, I'm Sean Higgins, editor for SPAR3D, and I'm here at the SPAR3D Expo and Conference 2017 with Bentley Systems CEO Greg Bentley. We are continuing our ongoing discussion about the state and the cutting edge of reality modeling technology. And you guys are here with a relatively large announcement. You have a number of new products and services that you're introducing to the market. Do you want to give us a quick overview of that?
Yes, Sean, and by the way, it's just exciting to see the growth in SPAR3D this year. It coincides with a growth in benefits and use cases from what we call reality modeling, everything that's being advanced here. Reality modeling for us is the capture of as-operated conditions, primarily through digital photography, but as you know, this year we have a hybrid processing solution that includes laser scanning where and as needed as well. But the point of it is the benefits that occur, and we're talking about those benefits sort of broadening the opportunity for engineers and surveyors, for instance, in what we call conceptioneering, where the reality mesh at the early stage helps the project to be notionally engineered in relation to its cost and so forth. And then constructioneering, where continuous surveying during construction is anticipated by the design engineer and the surveyor, and the cloud services can work together, for instance, between our own project-wise connected data environment and, for instance, the TopCon Magnet Enterprise environment for the positioning devices to and from the field and the machine control and so forth. And then in asset performance, starting with inspectioneering, you might say the surveyors help continually survey during asset operations. The engineers then have the result through the cloud processing of what the surveyors capture, including with their mobile devices through our new context capture mobile environment, in order to bring their engineering knowledge to consideration of integrity and resilience and so forth that would be the subject of inspections, and then closing the loop with what we can call productioneering during operations and maintenance. So these are all use cases that reality meshes have helped enable that provide opportunities for the work of engineers not be limited to design, and the work of surveyors not be limited to preparation for design, but rather throughout the life cycle. I think that those benefits are multiplied this year. It's one of the reasons that there are more attendees this year. Everyone's upbeat about the potential of reality modeling. And we just came from a session in talking about the future of that, where we can imagine, this turning point or point of inflection where it's not about the particular technologies used for capture. It's about the valuable consumption and use cases of an immersive 3D environment as operated and continuously surveyable for every infrastructure and industrial asset. And so I'm very excited to imagine what we'll be talking about a year from now. But congratulations on a great SPAR3D event, Sean.
Thank you. So one of the things you were discussing earlier with the reality mesh hybrid processing photogrammetry and the point cloud, of particular interest to attendees of SPAR, both past and present, is the point cloud and sort of the fate of it as 3D technologies develop. I mean, what do you think is going to happen to the point cloud as this sort of technology develops?
Well, we like to say that one of the things that we're contributing with reality modeling is greater accessibility, and that means you can use ordinary digital photography, of course from a UAV, but also from your own smartphone on site. Have the processing into a reality mesh occur through our context capture cloud service now and the context capture mobile app. So that's just an entry point into reality modeling. But when I talked last year about this accessibility, I'm aware there could have been some resistance among the those in particular heavily invested in laser scanning to be misunderstanding that I would say that specialization is not going to have a good return on investment. So it's great this year to talk about our software innovation so that in the processing of photogrammetry inputs, the digital photographs, this year you can introduce point clouds as well, the results of laser scanning where needed and as needed for circumstances where photography doesn't do as well, the conditions of light and reflectivity and so forth. Increasingly, that can be a handheld laser scanner to supplement and improve the result. The result is still a mesh, not a point cloud, but the point cloud inputs, the results of scanning, can greatly improve. And the hybrid processing is an exciting innovation, and we've gotten a great reception for that here at SPAR. So hybrid processing, by the way, we also show inputs from, for instance, infrared and thermographic sensors as well. So there's just no end of what you can process. But we think the result should be a Reaility mesh, we call it. A mesh because it can become intelligent. It's engineering ready. It's the form factor in which engineers work and are comfortable. It's also compact. It can be persisted, compared, and so forth. So the point cloud is an important input. We think the mesh is a more effective output. And so both are important, therefore. I know we've just come from a panel where there was some debate from experts on where the crossover occurs. But every surveying specialist has a greater role and a greater opportunity, as I've been describing, when surveying becomes more continuous by virtue of the accessible and the fidelity and the accessibility and the scalability. For instance, cloud processing helps those who are new to Reaility modeling not need to acquire software for processing themselves. They have Instant On with our context capture cloud processing service now. And at the other extreme, those whose jobs are very large with a very large number of photos and or point clouds, a city scale sort of thing, you can get in a cloud processing service in our Azure GPU environment as many engines as you like, sort of to shorten the time. So both from the low end to the high end, the scalability, and then we say shareability through ProjectWise context share, so that everyone in the team or across the life cycle has secure access to the Reaility meshes for all these use cases we're now talking about. Right. That those are contributions to make the meshes more valuable, but the fidelity of the meshes is improved by hybrid processing that includes scanning and many form factors of hardware to come. It's just it's terrific for us on the engineering and surveying side. We don't have to invent new technology, but just to apply them industrially in an infrastructure and engineering context here where the benefits are so large.